If you've seen any of our other videos, you know we sell a lot of vintage records. We just got lucky. We came across a whole bunch of them. And we have probably 1,000, if not more. I have no idea. Thousands. And we've been going through them little by little by little. I want to tell you a little bit of the tips and tricks about selling vintage records and what we've learned. My name is Ann, and we've been selling on eBay for quite a few years now. And I'm just here to share some of my experiences and hopefully share some tips and tricks. To start off with though, I do need to pull some orders. As you know, there's going to be a lot of vintage records in it. Let's get started pulling some of those records and we can talk while we do it. The first one is called The Damned, and that's going to be over here. The Damned. This one sold for $25, free shipping. Another record we sold was Jimmy Buffett. And that sold for $30, free shipping. This one is Assault and Battery. And that one sold for $25 for shipping. So one thing when selling vintage records, when you ship them, we always make sure we have a plastic outer sleeve. And then we always make sure to pull out the record from its inner sleeve, and we actually package it with the record outside of the sleeves. We put the paper sleeve over it, and then we'll put it into the plastic sleeve. Now, people get really confused on this. They think it's sloppy and wrong, but there's a reason for it. You don't want those records, as they're sliding all over the place, to break the paper of that sleeve in there. And so that could devalue the record, and you don't want to send it damaged. We got a lot of complaints about it, and in the end we were getting poor feedback. And then you'd have other people who, if you didn't ship that way, they were upset, because if you know anything about records, you know that's the proper way to ship them. So we found we needed to educate our customer. So we started doing these note cards, and it basically just says, "Thank you for your purchase. We take great care in our packaging. Please note that we intentionally remove the record from its sleeve and sandwich it in between the cardboard cover and the paper inner sleeve. We do this because it can move and slide around during shipment. Any movement while it's being shipped can make it damage or possibly even burst through the sleeve, or even dent, crack, or snap the record." We hope you enjoy listening to your new addition to your collection. Happy listening, Ann and Bill. Bill's my husband. We do this business together. And then we put our company name, AE Solito LLC. We put the link to our store, along with a picture of us and a QR code to our store. This solved everything. It is just a matter of looking at what the situation is. If you have a problem, think about why you have the problem. In this case, it was just customers not understanding. And so the solution was educating them. And this, I just take index cards, print it off. It's very inexpensive to do. I add it to the shipment. Let's pull a couple more items. So this is a vintage balance truing poising caliper. It's basically a watchmaker's tool. My husband works on watches and pocket watches and clocks. And so he knows a lot about the tools. And it's becoming a lost art. But there are still people who are interested in these types of items. So this item sold for $19 plus shipping. This one's sort of a interesting one. It's in this bin over here. So this is a fitness cross training watch. It's called Polar. And this sold for $100 free shipping. I actually only paid, I think it was either $5 or $10. I want to say 5. We had it listed for $130. That was the going price on it. I got an offer last night for $100. And I'm like, I debated countering. And then I'm like, is this just, how long is this going to last? Like, is this going to get outdated, or is this a phase with this watch? I decided to be safe and take it. It's a judgment call. And honestly, I don't know much about these, but it is still sealed in the packaging. So I sold it for $100 for shipping. Judgment calls all the time. Then I have a tool. It's a snap-on half-inch drive, 25-inch long, handled dual 80 tech flex head ratchet. This one was a longer package, and sometimes I don't pre-package everything, as you can see, but if I'm concerned that it's either going to take a lot of time to package, like something fragile, or you're going to have to be careful about having the right packaging around. Like, this is really long. You better make sure you have a box around to sell, to be able to ship this in for when it sells. I went ahead and pre-packaged this. And then we have one more item, and it's Vintage Craftsman Stubby Nut Driver Set that we sold for $24, and they did pay shipping. Here they are, just a bunch of stubby Craftsman tools. Another thing vintage record buyers want to know is they want a grade for it. They want to know what type of condition the actual record's in, and also the packaging. And a lot of times you'll give a rating for the packaging and for the record itself. So I'm going to go over this is a general grading system that most people who collect vintage records know. I will put it down in the notes of this video. But if you're going to sell vintage records, this is the type of information they want to know. And if they can't find it, they'll reach out to you. We always put it in our item details, and we put the grading system into our listings as well, so they know what we're saying this means. But I'm going to go over them in detail with you a little bit here. I did write myself out some cheat notes so I don't mess it up for you. So be patient with me. The lowest grade that you can have is P or F, which is poor or fair. Basically, this is a record that's really been beat up. It's been through the ringer. You're going to see skipping. You're going to see scratching. It might even be cracked. You know, I don't see too many of these out there that people actually want to buy, but I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if there was one. There's some of these records are so rare and so collectible that even to be able to put your hands on some of them, I mean, we have records that are hundreds and even $1,000. So that is the poor of the poor. Then there's good. That's a G rating. And G rating you would think would be a pretty darn good record. Well, a G record still has scratches. It's got poor quality. It's got some type of undesirable aspects to it. It's going to scratch. It's going to skip. You might see visual scratches in it. And this also goes with the packaging. If you're going to grade the packaging, maybe it's pretty rough, it's ripped up, it's crinkled. So it is still usable, but you're going to hear audio distortion, scratches, things like that. Then you go up to VG, and VG is pretty good. I mean, VG is a record that you're going to play, but you're going to hear distortions. There's a lot of use, but it's usable. It carries a few distortion, like visible scratches, and it might have like the envelope, the sleeve of the record might have, you know, a slit in it, things like that. Very Good Plus has light faults, so it doesn't compromise audio or visual. It may have inaudible marks, and it might have a little bit of a rub. You also might hear some background crackle to it when it's playing. Next level is Excellent. Now, Excellent is very minor use. It's pretty darn good quality. You have light marks. They're difficult to spot, and it does show that it's been taken in and out of the sleeve. It's been used. It does show it, but it's pretty clean. There's also Near Mint. Now this is like little to no marks. It only has been used a couple times, but it has been used. And the audio should be pretty darn clear. Then there's Mint. Now Mint is the perfect. That's like it's never been used. It's still sealed in the package. It's never been played. I mean, it's nice. And that's valuable. I mean, if you have a sealed record compared to a record that was played, this is what everybody wants. They want to be able to peel that sleeve and make sure they were the first ones to play it. They want to know that it's clean. That's the grading system that we use. It's pretty common in selling records, or if you're a collectible, you're probably aware of this, but it's something to consider if you're going to sell vintage records, and they're out there. I mean, rummage sales are coming up, and a lot of times I will see stacks of records there, and you would be surprised which ones are valuable and which ones aren't. It's a good thing to study. Us coming across so many, my husband has taken the lead on it. He's been loving it. He's kept a lot. You should see his collection now. But we've also sold a lot that are very valuable too. Let's actually package one up and get it ready to ship. I'm actually going to take you into the kitchen so I have a little bit more room to show you, and I will be right back with you. As I said, we have gotten complaints in the past about shipping records. I have not gotten a complaint on shipping records in a very long time. And I really do tell you, it's because of these little notes. I mean, such a small, inexpensive thing has really changed around. Now we get a lot of compliments on how we ship our records, and it just came down to educating our customer. And so I'm going to show you exactly how I package a record. So this is the Jimmy Buffett. We're going to take it out of the exterior sleeve, and if the records don't come with it, we purchase these and we'll put it in. So you just want to make sure you look over the record, make sure it looks very clean. You don't want to send anything dirty, and it could have got missed during listing. I take the outer sleeve, put the record on top of it, put the inner sleeve, put that on top of that, put it back in the plastic sleeve, and slide it in. Then you put this in your box. Now, make sure you get an actual record box. It's worth the investment. And if you're selling higher end records, you want to make sure you got some thicker cardboard. You don't want the real flimsy stuff. I've heard of people using like pizza boxes and stuff. One, it's just very unprofessional. And I am not against recycling shipping supplies, especially when it comes on selling on eBay. It's acceptable, but not for records. Don't use please, even if it's a new box, please don't use a pizza box to ship records. So there's my little rant. There's actually boxes meant to ship vinyl records in. This one actually has 2 levels. You can ship up to 6 records in this, so it adjusts accordingly. You just have to fold up the edges. And I do that before I put the record in. Then I put the record in with the record's side, the inner sleeve on the top part. And then I put a cardboard on the inside. This is just a cardboard insert. You're going to have to purchase this in addition to the record box, but it is worth worth the value of it. We don't get complaints on our shipping for records. And then you just have to put it together. Oh, I almost forgot my note. I put that in between the cardboard and the record. And then you just put it together and we'll tape it up. And so I always put a strip down the middle and then I always put it on the two sides. I usually take the shipping label and I'll place it along this area, overlapping the tape a little bit. I just figure it gives a little extra security. Not that it's needed, but I'll tell you, it's a sure-proof way to ship records. And I hope this video helped you. If you had any questions, please let us know in the comments, or if you have any suggestions on things you do to help your record sales, let us know. Always love to learn from you as well. And so hopefully with sharing experiences, we can both learn together. In the meantime, happy selling.